Dear students, you are welcome in the Education Department at SHAHD Association. Our lesson today is Mechanical Force. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more lessons and don't forget to activate the bell to stay notified. In this session, we have three objectives. We will define forces, we will list the type of forces, we will list the characteristics of each force. Let's begin our session by defining what's a force. A force is a mechanical action that's applied from one object into another. Another definition for a force defines it as an action of pushing or pulling. The SI unit of the force is in newtons. And we have two types of forces. Forces acting from a distance, and the other type is contact forces. Now we will move to the effects of the force. A force, when it's applied on an object, it has an effect on that object. We will take three cases in which in each case we will specify the effect of the force applied. In the first example, suppose that this man is squeezing the ball. He is changing the shape of the ball. In this case, we can say that the force applied by the man deformed the object. Let's take another example. Suppose that you throw a ball. It has a direction downward. When it bounces the ground, it is directed upward. In this case, we can say that the force of a ground changed the direction of the moving object. The final example is when a boy is pushing a sofa. He is causing the motion of the sofa. What are the characteristics of a force? We are all interested in drawing a free body diagram to study the motion of an object. A free body diagram is a diagram that shows all the forces applied on an object. Each force is drawn as a vector, which is a straight line having an arrow at the end. Each force has four characteristics. The point of application, which could be the point of contact or the center of gravity. The line of action, it could be horizontal or vertical. The direction, which is the sense of the force, it can be upward, downward, to the right, or to the left. And the final characteristic is the magnitude. Now, we will move to the types of forces, and we will begin by the first type, which is called contact forces. We have several examples of contact forces, but the most known one is called muscular force. The muscular force is the force applied using the body parts like arms, legs, or fingers. To make this clear, we will take the following example. Suppose that a player is playing football and he kicks a ball. The player applies a muscular force generated by his leg on that ball. We will write the characteristics of this muscular force. We will start by the point of application. We know that the point of application of contact forces is the point in contact. So, the point of application in this case is the point in contact between the player's leg and the ball. The line of action is horizontal because the player is kicking the ball horizontally. The direction, which we said that it is the sense of the force, is to the right in this case. And finally, the magnitude, we suppose a value of 10 Newton for the force F. Another example for contact forces is the frictional force. The frictional force is the force resisting the motion of solid surfaces and elements against each other. So whatever object on a surface plane, then friction exists. Let's take the following example. Suppose this man is pushing this fridge on the ground. Because there is in contact between the ground and the fridge, then friction exists. Let's write the characteristics of this frictional force. The point of application is the point in contact between the fridge and the ground. The line of action is horizontal because the man is pushing the fridge horizontally. The direction is to the left, which is opposite to the positive motion of the fridge. And finally, the magnitude, let's suppose a value of 1 Newton for the friction. The final example of contact force in this session is called the normal reaction of a plane. This force exists whatever an object is placed on a plane, like a ground or table. Let's take the following example. An object is placed on a table. Because it is placed on a plane, then the normal reaction exists. Now, we will write the characteristics of this normal reaction force. The point of application is the point of contact between the object and the table. The line of action is vertical and perpendicular to the plane. The direction is upward because the table is pushing the object upward. The magnitude is 2 Newton. The other types of forces are called the forces that are acting from a distance. We have several examples for forces acting from a distance, but the most known one are called force of gravity, or what we call the weight. The weight is the force applied by the earth on that object. Whatever an object is having a mass, then weight exists. Let's take this example. Suppose that you throw this ball in air, and this ball now exists in the air. Now, what are the characteristics of this force? Let's start. The point of application is the center of gravity because it's a force acting from a distance. The line of action is always vertical. The direction is always downward. And the magnitude, we can calculate it using this rule, which is weight equal mass times gravity. Suppose this ball has a mass of 2 kilograms. Then if we substitute in this rule, then we will say the weight is equal to 2 times 10, which is 20 newtons. Another example for forces acting from a distance is called the magnetic force. The magnetic force is the force due to the presence of a magnet. So whatever we have a magnet, then the magnetic force exists. Suppose this example, we have an iron block and above it we have a magnet. Due to the presence of the magnet, then there is a magnetic force that is applied on this object. The point of application of this magnetic force is the center of gravity because it's a force acting from a distance. The line of action is vertical in this case. The direction is upward, which is toward the magnet. And the magnitude, let's suppose a value of 5 Newton for this magnetic force. That was the end of our session today. If you have any questions on the worksheet, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks for watching. If you like this lesson, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more. And don't forget to click the bell to get all updates.